Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to Soul Good. I'm Amber Marie, and this is your February 2023 Tarotscope. I would like to deeply apologize for the fact that you are getting this reading in March. I actually experienced a tremendous amount of healing during the second half of February, and then we had a really big storm in my neck of the woods and lost power for days upon days. There were about 200,000 people in my neck of the woods without power for days. So I do apologize. There's not a whole lot I could do about either of those things. Truthfully, I really just didn't have the capacity to be able to give to you during the second half of February. And then just before our power went out, I was getting ready to do this reading for you guys, and unfortunately that was not able to happen. And then I had to come back and get caught up in all the things, which has been a blasty blast. But I did still want to deliver you a reading for February. So here's the thing. Within this reading, you may find confirmation about some things that you experienced through the month of February. Okay? And if you're watching this, it's likely that that is true for you in some way, shape, or form, even if it's just, a couple of seconds or something. I just feel like there's a reason why I still feel called to finish up your sign and Pisces before I move into March 2023 readings. So again, I do apologize, but I'm so grateful for your patience. I truly do appreciate you so very much. And I'm very, very grateful that you're here with me now. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As always, there will be a lot of goodies in the description box below, including a timestamp to jump to the beginning of the reading. Please do remember to only take what resonates with you and leave the rest. All right, let's jump in and see what took place for you in February. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, tell us about Aquarius's theme for February 2023, please. What did that look like? Okay, thank you. Tell us, please, about what something Aquarius knew going into February. Tell us about that. Okay, thank you. Tell us something Aquarius didn't expect during February. Tell us, please, about something. Thank you. And finally, tell us about what stirred happiness for Aquarius in February 2023, please. Ooh, that went clear off the table, which I feel like that one is your card, or however many are down there. So give me 1 second. I will be right back. Okay, so I got your card off the floor. Let's get your clarifiers. Tell us more about what took place for Aquarius during February 2023, please. Tell us more about Aquarius's theme. Thank you. Tell us more, please, about okay, thank you. Tell us more about something that Aquarius did not expect. I feel like y'all may have been a little all over the place, right? Because I normally don't have a problem with cards flying off the table and things like that. So I do feel like you may have felt a little all over the place, perhaps. Maybe like you were jumping around a bit, maybe trying to focus on certain parts of your life, perhaps. Okay. Tell us more, please, about what stirred happiness for Aquarius in February 2023. Okay, thank you. All right, let's take a look and see how February went for you. So your theme in February, Aquarius, says here, Mother Rose, returning to each other, compassion and humanity. I feel like for some of you, you experienced this like coming back to self. Now, I don't feel like it was this big, huge, like epiphany, really, or that it was like something very big, a big change that took place, right? But I feel like there's some aspect of yourself that came back to you. And I feel like this could have something to do around your stability or security or the foundations that you've been laying, because I just looked up a second ago and we were at 4 minutes and 44 seconds, which reminded me of numerology, and the number 4, which is about foundations and stability and security, those sorts of things. And I just really feel like for some of you, maybe that was the focus, right? Maybe that was the area that you were working on during the month, building up your security, building up your foundations, right? Like I feel like this could have been around, maybe you were just trying to find your center so that you felt stable, right? But I feel like you came back to yourself to some degree, though I don't feel like it's all encompassing. I don't feel like maybe you feel like 100% at home in your skin or comfortable, though that may not apply to everyone. I feel like there's been during the month of February this shift where maybe you showed yourself a bit of compassion, where you're like, oh, I've experienced these things in my life that caused me to feel unsafe. And I feel like maybe you were focusing on that during the month of February and creating that space for yourself. Okay, so that's really, really interesting and beautiful. And I pray that if that is for you, you have found that to some extent. What else do we have here? Oh, wow. Wow. You have the return, a new story. You decide alignment. It's coming together. So I find it fascinating that you have these two cards here, right? Returning to each other with the mother rose and then the return. So again, I feel like this is about coming back to you, and writing that new story again, deciding like, hey, I'm going to create this safe space for myself. I'm going to create this stability in my own life for myself. I'm deciding to change things. I'm deciding to take the initiative to work on these things so that I can feel stable in who I am and in my life, right? I just feel like there was this coming back to self. For some of you, maybe, which is, I really got to be honest, I don't feel like this is going to apply to everyone by any means. I feel like this is very few and far in between, but maybe for some of you, you did have this return happen with you and perhaps a family member, maybe your mother, or a partner, a romantic partner. You could have experienced that, though I feel like that's going to be for very few people. More likely, I feel like you could have, again, kind of found yourself or started coming back to yourself, or have been working on that at the very least. Okay, so yeah, I feel like, yes, thank you, Lord. I feel like, how do I word this? You may have started learning or integrating ways to kind of hold yourself. Okay. So for example, maybe you grew up in a situation where you didn't have any support, where you never felt like you were heard or held or supported, cared for. And I feel like there could be some aspect of that, of yourself, that's like, okay, I don't have to have somebody else do that for me. I can provide that for me. I can create an environment where I feel that. And that could have something to do with you deciding, I don't need this person in my life or this person in my life, or maybe created some distance or something like that. Just choosing to find ways to create that safety, that security within yourself. Okay. Let's see what the clarity is here. OMG. Okay. So this is fascinating because all of your cards are like connected to the one before it, which is fascinating because I feel like things are just going to start rolling now. Okay. That's the feeling that I'm getting. Just kind of like you've got the ball rolling, and I just feel like it's going to keep rolling as you move into March. So you have here, right? It's coming together on the return. If you can see that. Now we have coming together here with this Pleiadian activation as well, followed by harmony in the heavens and resolution. So I do feel like, okay, I need to backstep for a moment because I want to share with you that for me, harmony in the heavens is harmony within self. Ooh. I feel like you are releasing or have either are currently or did through the month of February release some fears, or at the very least work on releasing some fears. And I do feel like harmony in the heavens for me, heaven for me is within. Okay, kingdom of heaven resides within you. And I feel like the month of February could have brought for you some sense of harmony, some sense of balance, some sense of, I can do this, some sense of, okay, I'm starting to feel a little bit better. I'm starting to feel a little bit more secure. I'm starting to feel a little bit more sound in myself and how I move in the world or how I see the world. And I feel like this is because there's been this approach to healing. Okay. I feel like it's because of that initiative to heal, the desire to heal, that I feel like some of that harmony or balance has been created. And I do feel like there are some of you out there who will maybe agree with me when I say that it may feel like things are starting to come together, where you're starting to feel more stable, starting to feel more safe, starting to feel like your foundations are strong or getting stronger. Okay, so I feel like it may be coming together for you in that way. Okay, let's take a look at something you already knew going into the month. Codes of the seeds, the blueprint is within you. Take the next step. I feel like, yeah, okay, so here's the thing. I feel like as you went into February, Aquarius, you may have felt like things need to change. There needs to be something that happens here where I can find that resolution, where I can start to feel better, right? Where I can start to feel more safe, where I can start to feel planted, right? Look at, it's interesting. We've been talking about foundations and stability, and here are roots. Okay, so I feel like there's some aspect of yourself that likely knew that you needed to be able to plant yourself, that you needed to be able to find that stability within yourself, regardless of what that meant. And for some of you, maybe that meant letting go of other things in order to be able to do that. Things that were traumatic for you, things that maybe you struggled to let go of in the past. And I feel like because of this, I feel like there's been some growth that's taken place through the month of February. What's the clarity here? Hathor light codes, light immersion, full system upgrade, power recall. Yeah, like I was saying, I feel like there's something here where it was like, I need to do this for myself. Again, taking your power back from whatever it was that made you feel unsafe, that made you feel unstable, that made you feel unsupported, that made you feel like you were, walking a tightrope, out of balance, in a state of disharmony. Is that a word, disharmony? I don't know, but I think you know what I mean. If it's not, I just feel like there was some aspect of you that knew you had to take your power back somehow, that knew you had to give yourself stability that wasn't given to you previously. And that's not to say that you maybe don't have really good people in your life, because maybe you do. But I feel like there may have been things in your past, maybe with your family or friends in the past or something, where you didn't have that, or you felt like you didn't have that. And I feel like there's been this healing that was encouraged through the month of February to do that for yourself, to provide that for yourself. So something that you may have, something that you may have not expected about February. We have Sub Rosa, hidden in plain sight, mysteries, learning, and teaching. So first of all, I want to say for some of you, there's this element here of hidden in plain sight. And And what I think maybe you might not have known or realized is that you are your own savior, that you have the ability within you to heal these things, to move through these things, to create that support for yourself, to create roots and foundations for yourself. I feel like for some of you, you may have not saw that within, or excuse me, you may not have seen that in yourself before. I'm actually being reminded of, what is the song? Oh my goodness. I think it might be Chainsmokers. Oh my gosh, don't quote me on that, but there's the song Something Just Like This. Um, and it's like in the beginning of the song, they're listing like these superheroes, and it's like, clearly I'm not on that list. You may know what I'm talking about. I will find it and link it in the description box below, the song I'm talking about. But essentially, it's like there's all these superheroes, but I don't see myself on that list. And I feel like that may have been how you felt about yourself previously. And now you may realize, like, oh, I actually am like my own superhero. Like, I actually am my own superpower. I have the ability within me to be able to heal myself, to take care of myself, to provide these things for myself that I haven't experienced before, to create that for myself. And so I feel like it's interesting because there's this element of like you were hidden in plain sight, like you were hidden from you. Does that make sense? And I think that might be something that you weren't expecting. I also feel like you may not have been anticipating that you would learn so much through the month of February. I don't know that that will apply to everyone, but I do feel like for some of you, there was a huge amount of learning that took place. And if it's not, yeah, I almost feel like you, okay, so some of you may have learned like different modalities or techniques, healing techniques, things that you can put into practice, or learned about things you've experienced and what that might have, or how those things may have impacted you. But I also feel like some of you may have just learned a whole shit ton about yourself, which is really, really, I think that's beautiful. We also have here lineage of the rose, moved by the goddess here for this soul call, gather. Okay, so I want to lovingly say that I feel like for some of you, this could have something to do with your family, simply because the lineage is really standing out to me. So this could have something to do with your family, or someone you would consider family, or people you would consider family, or something of that sort, because I feel like there's been this kind of, how do I word this? I feel like, so we have soul call here as well, right? And I feel like for some of you, it was like your soul's like, we can't keep doing this. We can't keep doing this. We can't keep doing this. We can't keep doing this, right? I feel like some of you are like, okay, my soul is calling me to make these changes. My soul is calling me to be here for myself, to be here for my soul, to gather with those who I feel supported by. And if that's nobody, then that's freaking nobody, right? Like I just feel, I don't know, it's really interesting because there's two energies that I'm picking up on. One being this kind of resistant pushing energy, and then another being kind of this like pulling type of energy. And I feel like your soul may have been pulling you to do something while others may have been pulling you, pulling on your energy. Okay. So it's interesting because I'm kind of seeing it like a kid, and that's not to be condescending or anything, but it's like that kid that like stomps his foot and is like, "You can't tell me what to do." You know what I'm saying? And I feel like you may have like stood up for yourself, okay? And maybe that's not something that you were able to do before, and maybe you surprised, excuse me, maybe you surprised yourself when you did it. Okay, so let's see, what's the clarity here? Earth star activation, anchoring a grounded action and Isis energy. So yeah, right, like I was talking about, really like essentially planting your own roots, right? Again, it feels very much like stomping that foot to the ground to say, hey, I'm not, like, I'm refusing to budge on this. Like, this is where I'm at. It's really interesting to me. I do want to read this part for you, this card for you, the message here. So just give me a second to get to that page. Okay, so remember, what we're looking at here is something you may not have expected about the month in relation to what's come through already. When you draw this card, know your Earth Star has been activated and the wisdom you once ignored is finally being acknowledged. The rejected parts of yourself have now been discovered, or excuse me, have now been rediscovered. There is an opportunity for you to rediscover your... Why does it sound so weird when I'm saying that? I'm sorry, guys. It's really throwing me off. There is an opportunity for you to rediscover magic too, but stay firmly rooted in all of your endeavors. Let the earth hold and sustain you. That's interesting. Don't rush ahead. In fact, if you've been wondering if it's time to move forward, know that it isn't. Stay put for the time being. Important information is about to be revealed, so wait and stand strong. This is a time of integration and rest rather than pushing forward. Great wisdom lies within you. Dive deep and find it, and trust in yourself. You have more strength than you realize. Right, so again, like I was saying here with the Sub Rosa card and hidden in plain sight, like I do feel like that strength within yourself was something that you weren't expecting. I really do feel like it may have taken you by surprise. And I do feel like for some of you, you could have been like isolating and not in like a unhealthy way, but a more of a way like, I need to step back for me. I need to get my bearings. I need to ground myself. I need to root myself. I need to support myself and hold myself. Like, I really need to do this for me. Okay, you may have felt that way throughout the month. So let's take a look at what stirred, happiness within you through the month of February. We do have here the rose thread. Oh, this is so interesting because you have soul call over here with what may have been unexpected. And then what stirred happiness within you, we have inner call, soul led, the mystic, and living courageously. I feel like you standing up for yourself really made you like stirred happiness within you. I feel like it stirred confidence. I feel like it stirred this, how do I word this? It's like almost like I'm seeing it as like clapping for yourself or like patting yourself on the back, right? I feel like there's something there where it felt really good to essentially listen to yourself and to do what you needed to do for you. Because I feel like for some of you, maybe that is like you've been neglecting yourself. Okay? Like maybe you... Here's the thing. I feel like maybe for some of you, you ignored various things within your experience, like detached yourself from them or maybe attempted to. And maybe you pushed it down for like a really long time. Maybe you kept your mouth shut for a really long time. Maybe you weren't speaking your truth for a really long time. And maybe you were able to do that through the month of February, and that stirred this happiness within you, unlike anything you've experienced before. Because again, I'm wondering if maybe you didn't realize your own strength, or maybe you weren't confident enough in your ability to stand up for yourself or something of that nature. But I really feel like there was something within you that sparked this courage, and I do feel like it stirred happiness within you. So to clarify, we have angelic frequency, angels are here, you are safe, potent connection. Yeah, I feel like I was saying, right? I feel like you created that safe space for yourself or have been working on that. And so I feel like, again, I feel like that feeling that you can provide yourself with safety, I feel like that's, again, ooh, that was really interesting how like I don't know what that was. It was like my voice broke. that was so weird. I don't think I've ever experienced that feeling before. Not that I haven't had my voice break before, but it's never really felt like that. So I feel like maybe that was like one of the hardest things you've done. Like speaking that, right? Like I don't know. Oftentimes when I have things happen with my voice or my throat area, it's often based around truth and expressing that truth. So I feel like that could have been something very difficult for you, right? Maybe in the past you were like, maybe you wanted to say something, but like choked on your words, or maybe you weren't. Oh, okay. Thank you, Lord. Maybe you said things, but like didn't follow through with it. So you weren't being completely honest with yourself. Okay. But I feel like that has changed. I feel like that has changed. And I feel like it stirred happiness within you. I will never forget when I finally was like, this is, and this is in my own experience, okay? I will never forget when I was like, this is how I feel. This is how the things that I've experienced, like this is how they've impacted me. I want to talk about it, and standing up for myself in that way. I had never done that before, and even though I didn't get the response that I had hoped for, I still felt so powerful in doing that. And that's what I'm picking up, right? Because I felt like I was honoring my truth, honoring myself, which made me feel safe with me, if that makes sense. And I'm getting a similar vibe here. What else do we have? Yeah, this is so beautiful, Aquarius. You have crystal skull, wisdom, clarity, divine healing, high vibrational energy. So I feel like, part of, again, what stirred happiness within you for the month of February 2023 was gaining that clarity about you and healing. I do feel like you may have, if you resonate with this, went through some tremendous healing through the month of February. And I do feel like moving into March, you are likely to feel more full of energy, more vibrant is a word that I'm getting. Lively is another word I'm getting. What else? Bright or light. You may be feeling that way as well. I just feel like this clarity that you've gained about yourself is giving you more confidence. And I feel like you may now feel more encouraged to continue to honor yourself in that way. Now that you've experienced this clarity and divine healing. And now that you've started also, yeah, thank you, Lord. Now that you've also like started to release some of these lower frequencies or some of these traumas or woundings, programmings, I feel like you are starting to feel that more high vibrational energy. And I think there's an aspect of you, I feel, where you could be even like, I don't even know what this is, but I like how it feels. Right? Because I think it feels really good to feel a little bit safer in yourself and to feel more confident about the decisions that you're making and where you want to go in your experience. And I think that's absolutely beautiful, and it's so powerful, and it takes a tremendous amount of courage. And I think you should be patting yourself on the back. Like, I want to say kudos to you, because it's so hard to do. It's so hard to do, to go through these healings, to recognize where you may have dishonored yourself or lied to yourself, or, maybe withheld certain things, and shown yourself compassion and allowed yourself the time needed to gain clarity, to create healing. And again, it takes so much courage. And I want to commend you for that, because it's so difficult for many people. It was difficult for me. There are still things that are difficult for me. And, so it's not easy. And I want you to know, if no one else has told you, it's absolutely amazing. I see you. I see you. I see you wiping the dust off, letting your light shine, right? Letting your light come through. And it's absolutely glorious. So thank you so much for doing that work for yourself and creating these ripples out into the universe, which will ultimately impact me at some point or another. I really appreciate you doing that for yourself because it affects everyone. So thank you for that. And thank you so much for being here for this reading. I truly do appreciate your company, your time, your attention, and your energy. If something in this reading has resonated for you, please do the YouTube things by liking, commenting, subscribing, hitting that bell to be notified when I drop new content, and sharing with those who may find this valuable. It really does help the channel to grow, so I truly do appreciate that. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I pray February has been absolutely life-changing for you in some aspect, no matter how small, and I pray that that continues to happen through the month of March. Take care of your beautiful soul. Peace be with you, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.